One of the most underrated aspects of anime is that you can actually experience stories that are just completely different from anything that you would get in Western culture. And what I mean by this is like I feel like if you watch enough Western TV, everything starts to feel more or less the same. You see the same tropes over and over again. Like the general story structure, like the way that they build conflict and resolve it, the 3-act structure, the 5-act structure, like it becomes like movie after movie is the same. You watch one movie, Marvel, like, hero origin movie, and you've seen almost all of them. And occasionally you'll get, like, an Infinity War that's like, oh, this is actually written kind of differently. But it's very rare. And they just go back to recycling the same old structure over and over again. But the cool thing with anime is that you're going to a different culture and you're actually getting a completely different style of writing in a lot of cases. Now, a lot do use the Western structure, but I want to highlight how Hunter x Hunter consistently remains unpredictable, highly interesting, and complex and nuanced because it uses a different structure than like the traditional 3-act Western structure. And that being Kisho Tentetsu, which is basically a 4-act structure used in a lot of East Asian narratives. Basically, where instead of being primarily focused by like conflict, so like in the West it's like introduction, then there's rise in action, and there's like a climax where the conflict happens, the main beat of conflict happens, and then there's resolution. In this kind of structure, it's like introduction, and then there's a development, you know, things are increasing, and there's a twist that really changes the perspective on everything that's happening, and then there's a conclusion that provides like a very different type of ending from the traditional, like, conventional expected ending. So in a Hunter x Hunter arc, for example, like York New City, they're coming to this city to take out the Phantom Troop. And you're kind of like in a Western story, you'd be like, oh, how are they going to do that? Are they going to have a massive all breakout war? What's going to go on? But in this story, Kurapika gets there, introduces his new powers, the Phantom Troop gets introduced, and Kurapika is able to successfully take out one of them. Realizes he has a method that he can use to take out the whole troop. But then there's a twist when he realizes that the structure of the Phantom Troop is completely different. They're not just flat horrifically evil people, and just like him, they're actually more motivated by their personal bonds and friendship than by their evil greed and delusion. And many of them are willing to put those bonds over their goals and values and ambition, the same way he's willing to put his friends over their goals and values and ambition. And so instead of coming to a traditional massive brawl fight out, the ending ends up in a hostage exchange where both parties walk free. Sure, there's one death, but it's a sacrifice on the Pakunoda's terms. You get a far more complex and nuanced view of both